Marvel Rivals finally responded. They finally responded. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope your left ear enjoys this video. And Marvel Rivals, they did it. They finally said that they're going to be a little bit more strict towards throwers. Now, they just released a Twitter statement, and I'm not sure what the new parameters of the report system are, or the punishment or anything, which is good. Well, I'll tell you why not knowing is good. But let me just go ahead and put this gameplay on in the background. This is going to be one of those that you can just put it on your left ear or while you're driving or whatever. Don't really have to worry about what's happening. But I'm just going to read exactly what the Twitter post says. So it starts off with, "Dear Rivals, we have recently identified a disturbing trend within our community, incentivized throwing, where players are enticed by third-party bounties to deliberately sabotage matches. This behavior not only undermines the integrity of our game, but also tarnishes the experience for honest players who are committed to fair competition." So this is the so-called thrower epidemic, where there was a website where you could put bounties on people or whatever, and purposely throw people's games. So okay, cool. They found out that this is happening. Great. All right. So in light of this, we want to make our position clear. We maintain a strict zero tolerance policy against any form of malicious disruption. That only took a fucking year. Thanks for that. We maintain a strict zero to combat this issue, we are implementing a specialized investigation protocol focused on identifying and addressing negative gameplay linked to these external bounties. Accounts found to be violating our policies will face serious repercussions, including but not limited to permanent bans. We strongly advise players against jeopardizing their valuable accounts and hard-earned progress for the sake of temporary incentives. So to me, this sounds like they're actually sending somebody to go and take a look at the websites and try and, I don't know, see who is signing up. Or I don't know. I don't know how exactly they would find a link without physically hiring like a private investigator or something to see who's throwing your game specifically because of this website. Which I mean it's great, but honestly they should just lawsuit the fuck out of it. Like that website should be down tomorrow. They should have a cease and desist in their front door today. Okay, so next paragraph. Moreover, to reinforce the principles of fair competition, we have enhanced our regulations regarding negative gameplay. Accounts found to be engaging in disruptive behavior such as malicious idling, AFK, or intentionally throwing matches will incur significant penalties following reporting and verification. So this is what I wanted to make the video over. So I had been wanting to make this video for a little while on quantifiable ways to measure whether or not somebody is throwing. Because there are ways. There really are ways. Now, there are other ways that you can't, but that's what I want to bring up in this video. Now, there's a good chance that some of the things they've already started implementing, and either way, they should not let us know, because if they release it out in the public what the parameters are, then throwers are going to know exactly what to do, so they can be a little bit more careful when they throw, right? So they're maybe, instead of getting 0 damage, maybe they'll walk out of spawn, shoot one time, and then all of a sudden you can't report. I'm exaggerating here, but it's good that they're not releasing the parameters, and they're just letting us know that they're being more strict. So next paragraph. If you encounter players who are maliciously idling or intentionally throwing games, we encourage you to utilize the reporting feature immediately. Your reports are crucial and will be thoroughly investigated by our dedicated team. Maintaining a positive gaming environment is a collective responsibility. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you, Netties. Thank goodness. You know what? This should have happened months ago, but hey, we're here in the now. We don't live in the past, so let's hope for a brighter future in Marvel Rivals ranked. But I want to go over now my quantifiable ways of measuring throwing. So here's the thing. Marvel Rivals has a rank system that gives you more SR based off of your performance. So that they already told us this months ago, that they measure your performance. So when you're trying to find out whether or not somebody is throwing in a game, the stats per 10 minutes, like the kills per 10 minutes, healing per 10 minutes, damage per 10 minutes, usually when somebody is throwing, even if it's like one round, maybe not even the whole game, but one round, it's it's going to be dramatically lower than anybody else, right? And I really do feel that rivals could do this on a per round basis because first of all, you can see it right here in the replay. There's a clear section of round 1 and round 2, so that's already measurable. They know that, okay, in this round this is what you did, and that round this is what happened, right? So because the reason that's really important is because a lot of people are really weak-minded. They say, okay, we pushed, let's say we're on attack, all right, we pushed them all the way to second point, but I didn't like that, I don't know, my support wasn't healing me enough or whatever, or we were playing, I've had this a lot, hey, we're playing Ultron and I don't like being healed by Ultron, swap or else I'm gonna throw, right? Like, you know, shit like that. People who are really weak-minded, that where we're not losing, we're just winning very slow. So that's a really, really important factor when trying to determine what area or what match or what time frame you're trying to determine whether or not somebody is throwing. Now, under a certain parameter, I know that they have a range, which is where the performance-based SR comes from. Let's say the average heals per second in a game, I don't know, for Ultron, for a good Ultron is like, I don't know, let's not even do that. Let's say Cloak and Dagger, theoretically, 10,000 healing per minute. Let's say that's the stat, right? I know that the parameter should probably be anywhere between like, I don't know, so just a wild guess, anywhere between 12,000 heals to 8,000 heals, which should fall somewhat in like the realm of like normality. So if the parameter is on a really, I guess, if the person that is being reported for throwing has a really like dramatically much lower healing per second than anybody else, you'll be able to tell, right? Like if it's in the bottom 10%, right? Let's say instead of 10,000 healing in the game, you know, being the average, they only did 1,000 healing in the game, or they fucking, God forbid, do fucking 0, right? That on its own is a really good measurable way of finding out if they're throwing, right? Because the average is meant to be over the course of like a round or over the course of like a game, right? So yeah, maybe you're getting completely steamrolled and everybody's dying and you don't get the chance to heal everybody, right? And those stats will usually reflect on everybody else being steamrolled, right? Everybody's gonna have negative stats across the board. But if nobody else has negative stats and you're the only one who's maliciously not throwing, like I've had a game where I had a Deadpool who, you know, first round, same shit. The first round was good. I decided to heal second round, and then he just goes AFK. He goes off on the map and he just leaves. He doesn't heal anymore. So that's a verifiable way. Everybody else on your team was trying, but you were most definitely not. So there's one. Tracks per round, tracking stats per round, or tracking stats per 10 minutes, or whatever, right? The other more important one is deaths per 10 minutes. Oh my gosh, I think by now, all the content creators have made all the videos of like, oh, the guy who threw himself off the map 55 times or 40 times or whatever the fuck. I think, look, I watched Nen's video. Nen made a really good video on like why throwing is so difficult to catch. But he said that I guess throwing yourself off the map is not really a verifiable way, because what if you give the control to your cousin, or you know, you're just having a bad day or something like that, right? Which in quick play, totally acceptable. In comp, absolutely not. That's really stupid. Honestly, because like when you load into a game of competitive, it should be with the expressed intention of trying to win. So there's no reason your little cousin should be grabbing your control, right? Like there's no situation where that's okay. In quick play, you know, whatever, it's quick play, which I'll talk about, you know, throwing in quick play in just a bit. But when you're throwing yourself off the map and you're not getting any kills or you're not getting any damage, I mean, that's a pretty sure shit, like measurable way to determine whether or not somebody is throwing. So I think without even needing to be reported, I mean, if you're being caught throwing yourself off the map that many times maliciously with no damage or whatever, that needs to be an instant ban. I mean, that can't be like we need to wait the review, y que la chingada, right? No, like no. That needs to be, you are banned and you are banned, and that's it. And honestly, malicious bans, malicious throwing like that, where it's so blatantly obvious, needs to be like, the consequences need to be really strict, because there's no need to you know, waste your time on getting somebody to VOD review or whatever, right? Now, Another one, unfortunately, is when people swap to Widow. Now, here's the thing. That would require netties to admit internally, or to be, at least to be aware, that Widow is the de facto throw pick. Now, it doesn't mean that when you're throwing just because you pick Widow. That's not the case. No, it's more so that people who want to throw will pick Widow to show that they are throwing and to make it very obvious, right? So when that happens, I have somebody, I can show you their profile actually. I might do that after this gameplay. But who has like a ridiculously really low win rate on Widow. I think it was like less than 10% on Widow, and they're like Knight, right? So that means that they're not agent, right? They're not brand new at the character, but maybe they have like 2 hours playing the character, right? Or 3 hours or whatever. This person in comp has 4.4 hours on Widow with a less than 10% win rate because of how often they throw games, right? So it's very easy to determine whether or not this person is just throwing or whether or not they are actually, trying to play the character, right? You look at their stats, which Marvel Rivals already does. They already measure your stats. They already know how much damage you're doing per 10 minutes, how compared to every other actual Black Widow player, etc., right? If they see that you're at the bottom percentile, you don't play the character, you have a fucking negative win rate, and you're playing Black Widow with the express interest of throwing, you are probably throwing, right? So there's not a lot of I guess, research that needs to be done to verify that. But it's just sad that Rivals has a character that is the embodiment of throwing, right? I mean, that's just, that's what happens when you don't design a character perfectly, and you try making a hit scan who can't one-shot. Meanwhile, Hawkeye had a 350 damage one-shot for the longest time. Anyways. So yeah, there's that. Lastly is Jeff killing teammates. Duh! Like, you can go onto... Like, you can just look at the scoreboard. A teammate should not be killing a teammate. Now, there are instances where, okay, you're Jeff, you swallowed everybody. If you spit out your teammates right then and there, you're gonna die, right? So that's whatever. But I've had teammates where, they're Jeff, they intentionally spit out the enemy team and then take their teammates off the map, right? Like, that's different. I think when it's blatant like that, where they're not spitting out they're not spitting out the enemy teams off the map, and they're purposely only killing their teammates life after life, ult after ult, right? Then come on now, like, that's obvious. That should be an instant ban. And again, I have a game like that where they purposely only threw off their teammates. They didn't bother throwing off anybody else on the enemy team. They only threw us away. So now, here's the thing. Here's the argument. When you look at stats per 10 minutes, what happens in games when that are complete stomps, right? Where you physically can't do a lot of damage because you're just dying, right? Where the matchmaking will put you in a game that's lopsided, right? And unfortunately, it happens a lot in this game. A lot. It is very often in Marvel Rivals where they purposely give you the worst player and they give them the better player. Like they haven't admitted to it yet, and I don't think they ever will, but everybody knows. That's why people say that there's the OMM in these lobbies y que la chingada, no? Sorry, I like to speak a little bit of Spanish in my shit. But so in games like that, obviously your stats are gonna look worse, right, compared to other people. But that's when the report system comes in, right? So games like that happen, right? But when it's like blatantly somebody's fault, right? Like you're getting 0 stats per minute because it's 5 versus 6 throughout the entire game. Everybody else is trying and you're not. Sure, it might be hard to measure, but if everybody on your team is reporting you, then there's a good chance that what they're saying is right. You know what I mean? So it is measurable. But when the stats don't always paint the full picture, look at the report system. It will tell you whether it'll give you less of a possibility of doing a false positive on a ban, right? Because if you can't trust yourself to determine whether or not somebody is throwing, you can definitely trust the people in that game. Now, I do personally feel that whenever you're you're reporting somebody for throwing, it should be on a per game basis, meaning that you can't report somebody without the replay code, right? So you can't just like go out like on a mass, like, okay, everybody, like, let's report this guy because I don't hate him. Like, no. If this guy, if you don't like somebody but they're not throwing, there's, you know, tough shit. Put up with it. You know what I mean? Which again should be verifiable and measurable based off of what I just said. Now, what are situations in which people are not throwing or that are just immeasurable, right? Or are impossible to measure? Number one is when you're trying out new heroes. And I don't think Rivals will ever really put themselves in a situation where they determine that, oh, because you're playing a hero that you don't play very often, you are automatically throwing. No, because when new characters come out, for example, when Gambit came out, I was playing that character at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, I was like, nobody had played the character, right? But that's what Rivals want. Rivals wants people to play their characters. If they didn't want if they didn't want people playing their characters in comp, they would disable them in comp. They fully have the ability to do that. And you know what? Overwatch did that for a little while. But what Overwatch started doing instead was giving people a free trial, letting people play the character, you know, buffing, nerfing, seeing what was necessary to make the character viable, and then they would let them play in comp, right? They would enable them in comp, but that's different, right? The Rivals is a whole different system. But yeah, anyways, when you're trying a new hero or you're playing a hero that you don't play very often, for example, like the person who I was talking about with the Widow, right? He's Knight. He only plays Widow to throw, so obviously you're not playing the game very often, right? It's not exactly throwing, right? As long as you're trying with new heroes. Now, it's different if you're intentionally throwing and it's, you know, people are reporting you, etc., etc. But yeah, when you're trying to learn a new character, I don't think that should be reportable or bannable, honestly. Now, unfortunately, inting is also not very measurable. Now, what is inting for some people who don't know? Inting is purposely playing bad, but still playing. Right, so those sure your stats per 10 minute are probably going to be a little bit low, even if you are walking it down the middle of the map and just shooting someone, right? But like it's a little bit too much gray area in my opinion. I feel like it's very difficult because sometimes you just inting and feeding could technically kind of be the same thing, and again, it's very difficult to determine, like, okay, you're feeding maybe just because you don't have the game sense versus you're inting because you know what you're doing is going to get you killed, right? It's very, like, you would need a human to review that case by case to verify that, okay, this is what's happening, right? But yeah, now what should be the punishment? All right, so first of all, 15-minute bans out the window. That should not be a thing. That should have never been a thing. Now, that's laughable. Like, what is 15 minutes of my time? 15 minutes of my time is making this video, bro. I was over here working from home until I saw this video and I said, hey, fuck, I need to make this video right now. I'm not even kidding. I need to get back to work in a couple minutes. But, like, 15 minutes just should have never been a thing. Like, that's stupid. If you want to do a 15-minute ban for anything, do it for, like, saying a bad word, like, in text chat. Like, that's so stupid. So the minimum ban, in my opinion, needs to be 2 hours. Now, why am I not more strict on that? Let me tell you. Because, unfortunately, I feel like people can be reformed. Unfortunately. I know, right? So maybe he threw this game one time, but maybe he gets banned and he doesn't want to throw anymore after that. Okay, cool. We should give people a second chance, especially now that they've implemented this new penalty system. Maybe that'll incentivize people to throw a little bit less, right? So we should give them the opportunity to, learn and stop throwing, right? And change their ways, in my opinion. So yeah, if on a first offense, 2-hour ban, it is a good punishment. Hold on. Let me start again. Let me say that. Let me say that one more time. It is a decent punishment, right? It's not like the most strict. But it's also not fucking 15 minutes, right? So that means that for the next 2 hours, that person's not going to be able to play the game. And also, if they were thrown because they just had a bad mental or whatever, it'll kind of mess up their gaming cycle, right? let's say they got off work and they're a thrower, right? God forbid you have fucking 2 kids and a job and you still decide to throw people's games. If you do, shame on you. Jesus Christ, go back and live with your mom. But hey, if you can't play the game for 2 hours and you only had 2 hours to play, well, shit. Now you can't play the game and ruin the game for other people for the next for the next day. Hopefully. But on the second ban, it should be 12 hours and nothing less than that. Because honestly, if you're getting banned twice, then you're doing it on purpose, right? This is a pattern of behavior. This is not like an incident. This is not like a one-time thing. No, this is you purposely and maliciously trying to ruin people's games, and Marvel Rivals is honestly better off without you. Honestly. So 12-hour bans need to be the second offense. And if you come back, let's say you get banned a third time, that needs to be a 24-hour ban, in my opinion. Well, actually, maybe it shouldn't even be 24 hours. Maybe it should be 48 hours at that point, right? Like, the third offense needs to be quite a bit more strict. But the fourth offense needs to be a season ban. Nothing less than that, right? Because after 4, if you're getting banned 4 times on purpose, at that point, it's like, okay, obviously, banning you is not enough, so you just can't play the game competitively with us for the rest of the season. And honestly, in quick play, they should have a throwers queue, right? So that even in quick play, you only get grouped with people who are also throwing, right? So yeah, that's my opinion on the punishments on bans, the measurable ways to determine whether or not somebody is throwing. Now, I don't think these parameters should be included in quick play. Now, I already had an argument with somebody on the internet about why throwing consequences shouldn't be as strict in quick play. And honestly, my one and only argument to that is that quick play is just not competitive. There is no competitive integrity. You already think that Marvel Rivals rigs your games in comp. They 1000% rig your games in quick play, right? So if somebody's throwing because the match is mismatched, right? It's lopsided. That's Rivals' fault. Right? Like, it has nothing to do with the players, right? Rivals will fabricate your wins and losses in quick play. And because they have bot lobbies, right? If they weren't trying to fabricate your wins and losses, bot lobbies wouldn't exist. But the mere existence of bot lobbies decimates all semblance of competitive integrity in quick play. So that being said, it's not like you shouldn't be trying to play, but whenever I play quick play, I play characters that I don't play in comp. Like that's a conscious decision. Like, okay, here's my roster right now, all right? These are the characters that I play in comp, right? But when I'm playing quick play, I specifically do not play these characters, right? I play to learn or to have fun or to fuck around, right? And I don't get mad. I don't try hard, right? The only people who do try hard are the fucking Spidey players. I swear, I hate you fucking Spidey players. But I swear, you will find more Lord Spider-Man players in quick play than you will in comp. Anyway, but yeah, no, I don't think quick play should be as strict. If anything, if they want to throw them a bone, give them the system that they have right now. Like, just the 15-minute bans, 2-hour bans, and that's it, right? But it really shouldn't be that strict in quick play. Now, I already mentioned this, but whatever parameters they chose for how they're going to determine whether or not somebody is throwing, they should not release it so that throwers do not try and game the system, all right? And they need to be strict with these punishments, all right? I better not be seeing no more fucking 15-minute bans. I mean, this shit is stupid. This shit is really, really stupid. But yeah. Anyways, that's my take on on the ways that I think you can measure throwing and catch it. Who knows? I guess we'll see in the coming days whether or not the system has been implemented well, the system that they chose to implement today. So we'll see. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and that your Marvel Rivals games are a lot better. Have a good one.